Hello, my name is Brock Ravel, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of drunk driving and what it is and how it affects people. Firstly, I'm going to start off with showing you two photos. This first photo is a car, normal car, great car, driving on the road. This person decided to take a cab home that night and the next day could drive their car nicely. The second car I'm about to show you is a car that someone decided to drive home after they were drunk, and this was the result of it, and it was a fatality which cost him his life and someone else's theirs. Drunk driving is a very big occurrence in the world because a lot of people do it, and more people are doing it nowadays. What drunk driving is when you exceed a certain amount of alcohol or more and you decide to drive home, and it either ends up costing you either in a DUI or costing your life, or it can cost someone else's their life if you hit them. And that is one of the reasons why drunk driving is bad, because you just don't know what will happen, and there are very many consequences to it, and you'll either end up costing your life or someone else's life. When drunk driving most occurs in is when mostly holidays or mostly on weekends. But for holidays, it would be Christmas, Thanksgiving, etc. But every weekend, there are a certain amount of drunk drivers that are on today's roads that end up either killing someone or they get pulled over and get a DUI, which is a consequence to them and also will teach them not to do it again. And most drunk drivers are on the roads between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. And this is when most either crashes happen or there are sobriety check stops, and they either fail or some of them get through, or either they hit someone or get in an accident before they get to a check stop or before they get home. Who it affects is some people don't expect to drive drunk, but once they go to the bar, they have a couple drinks in them, they don't know what to expect. They think that their body's fine and everything's good, and they think that they can drive, and alcohol changes your mind to make you think that you can do everything you can while you're sober. And the people who do decide to drunk drive, it has many consequences in ending up in DUIs or costing their life if they hit someone, or if they hit someone else very bad, it can cost their life who they hit their car in, or etc. And it's very important that we really promote drunk driving and stop people from drunk driving, because there are deaths every weekend and people getting killed from drunk drivers. And it is a very important thing that we put a stop to these drivers and make them stop and think before they get into their cars. And there are many different things. You call cab, you call keys please or something like that, and it's very important that people do that, but they don't, because they think the alcohol isn't affecting them in any ways to drive, and then they drive home and consequences will come when you drunk drive. Where drunk driving usually occurs is after you go to the bar for several hours, or if you went out for a couple drinks, or even if you were at a house party and you decide to drive home because you think you're capable of driving home when you're clearly not. And most people that drive home from the bar or a house party are either likely to get pulled over, or they don't stop and think, which results in either a fatality or a DUI, which costs them and should teach them the importance of drinking and driving, and should teach them not to do it again in their lives. Why people drunk drive? People drunk drive because they think their ability after a couple drinks isn't affected. They think being sober or drunk is the same thing. Some people think it doesn't affect them at all, and they're perfectly fine drivers and no one can stop them. But it slows down their ability, and alcohol is a fact that it makes you dizzy. So if you're walking around dizzy and you get in your car, you're going to be swerving with your hands on the wheel, and you're going to be swerving just like as if you were walking down the street. You would be walking side to side because you couldn't keep a steady line, because the alcohol is making you dizzy and disorienting your body. It also slows down your reaction time, in which a drunk driver, if he sees a red light, he might not stop, and that results in either running a light that another car is coming through that light and they T-bone each other, and either it results in a fatality for the drunk driver or the victim that just got hit, or both of them can be pronounced dead on the scene, which no one wants that. And especially it affects the families and police, because policemen have to go to these families and knock on the doors and tell them what happened, and not every policeman or policewoman wants to go knock on someone's door and tell them what happened, and especially if they lost a family member or their kid in a drunk driving result. I think drunk driving is very important, and there should be more promotions and billboard signs saying not to drink and drive, and saying that the consequences, and people just don't learn. And some people, after they get a DUI, they get another DUI, and they still, to do so, they drink and drive. And I think that people just need to stop and think before they get into their car, or just not even bring their keys to the bar or a party, or if it is a house party, the owner of that house takes everyone's keys if they are drinking an excessive amount, and they should not be allowed to drive home, because it's either going to cost them or someone else's family, or will result in a DUI, which will cost them in either way. Consequences to drunk driving, there's no way of hiding it at all. If you drunk drive, you will be getting caught. I'm Brock Gravel, and these are the importance of drinking and driving, and what happens and what I think about it. Thank you for your time today.